Hello, Words Way. I hope you are all having a great day. Welcome to another Words Wednesday. I hope you guys prepare for a word because that is exactly what I am going to give you. Okay, so we've been in a new series or mini series called God Be Like, and this week, God Be Like. That's not what I said. So I want to start in Deuteronomy. Here it's Moses talking to Israel. And this is what he's saying. Deuteronomy chapter 4. It says, "Now Israel, hear the decrees and laws I am about to teach you. Follow them so that you may live and may go and take possession of the land the Lord, the God of your ancestors, is giving to you. Do not add to what I command you, and do not subtract from it, but keep the commands of the Lord your God that I give you." So pretty much we're going to be talking about just following God fully. What does that mean? So to follow God fully, first of all, it means to take God at his word. So believe God to be exactly who he says he is. Believe that he is more than a conqueror, or that we are more than conquerors through him. Believe that he has plans to prosper you and not to harm you. Believe that if we seek his kingdom first, then everything else will be added onto us. And then after that, we got all our faith in him. After that is to be able to act on that. So to faithfully act on that, on who he is at all times, on what he says at all times, even when it doesn't look right because of our faith. So how do we do that? Relying on the Holy Spirit, as simple as that. Ezekiel 36:27 says, "And I will put my spirit in you and move you to follow my decrees and be careful to keep my commands." So that right there, it says that the Holy Spirit will move us to follow his commands, follow his directions, follow his decrees. When we are unable or really unwilling to operate in the fullness of the decrees of the Lord, is because we're working off of our own spirit rather than his. So it's really important that we learn to fully obey God and not just obey him to the extent of our own realm of comfortability, because our faith, it has to run further than the scope of our convenience. And when we don't allow it to, I think it just becomes easier and easier to only do half of the work, to only follow a portion of what God is saying, or to only keep some of the commandments, just because it's convenience. Like, my budget will work out a whole lot better if I tithe 10% rather than 5, or 5% rather than 10, but that's not what God said. And like, it's more of just being able to trust God in that, in the unknown situations, or unknown, when you're walking in an unknown space, or even when things just don't add up right. Remember, it said, do not add or do not subtract from it, but keep the commands the Lord gives you. That just makes me think back to another story. We're in Numbers now, and this is Moses speaking to the same people, the Israelites again. Or this is a story where the Israelites were once again having to be built up through Christ, but they failed it. So there was a promised land that was promised to the Israelites. And when God told Moses to send people to spy and to go see what the people there were like. And when they did, they's like, well, yeah, the land is good. This is a great land, but the people are bigger than us and they're stronger than us. So I don't think I want to go in there and try to conquer these people. After God had just done all these miraculous things in the wilderness and for so long, after literally seeing God move firsthand and not trusting him in an unknown place. But there was one of the men who he sent named Caleb, who even after seeing that they were giants, he said, well, okay, let's go. He was ready. So after all that, Moses is talking to God, really just advocating for those people, for God to forgive them. So God does forgive them. But then after that, it says, nevertheless, as surely as the glory of the Lord fills the whole earth, not one of those who saw my glory and the signs I performed in Egypt and in the wilderness, but who disobeyed me and tested me 10 times, Not one of them will ever see the land I promised on oath to their ancestors. No one has treated me with contempt. No one who has treated me with contempt will ever see it. But because my servant Caleb has a different spirit and follows me wholeheartedly, I will bring him into the land he went to, and his descendants will inherit it. So 2 things I get from that is Caleb followed God wholeheartedly. He finished the job. He didn't just go spy. He didn't just go check the land out, but he checked the land out and then still had the guts and the courage to go finish what God said. Okay, I saw it, but now let me do the hard part, the part where I really have to trust God and believe him to be who he says he is. And because of that, he inherited land. His descendants inherited the land. He was blessed. And then another thing it says, he has a different spirit. God would not have sent the Holy Spirit to us if we didn't need it. He called it a helper for us. And we truly need to rely on that, especially when we are facing times where, our faith needs edifying, or when we're just uncertain. We have to get comfortable with not always being comfortable. Because through everything, literally every single direction that God gives, there's purpose throughout the whole way. So if you only finish, 75% of it, that means God ultimately was not glorified. Even if it was, doing good, God didn't have a purpose for the first 3/4 of it. There was a purpose throughout the whole thing. And it could just be simply, I need you to learn how to trust me. Because, I think we all got a list of things that we're asking God for. And some of the things on it, you can look at it and it seems like, hey, this gonna be a long-term goal, 10, 15 years down the line. But, sometimes God will put trials and adversity in our now so that we can learn to rely on God and rely on his moving where we are, so that when he does pull out the blessing that we have been praying for and that we've been holding on tight to, we already have it in us to follow him, to always rely on him, to give us everything that we need throughout our journey, whether it be mentally, physically, emotionally, or spiritually. So I think that we need to not be so, what's the word I'm looking for? Maybe not be so selfish, I guess, about what we're choosing to do. Like, there's no room for faith in comfortability. And at the end of the day, this is a faith walk. We gotta faith it till we make it. And if we are not doing that fully, then we are not allowing God to fully reign over our lives or to fully do his work in us. That's all I have for you guys today. I hope that you got something out of that. I hope you all have a great week. I hope to see you all tonight at Bible study. I hope to see you all soon in our building. You have a blessed night, and I